All right, welcome one and welcome all. The recording has just begun, and this is day number 4, week 11. That's day number 4, week 11, and I'm definitely you all are here for this journey. Okay, journey through these problems. We're gonna have math for 2 hours, and then and then we're gonna have social studies. Then end it on a good note with religious. All right, so today should be a wonderful class. Alright, so let's continue from the papers that we was trying to finish yesterday. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, so
Okay. Alright, so let's go on the math that we was doing. So it was in paper 1 that y'all was doing, right, for English?
I think it was 2018.
Okay, alright.
Mr. B,
Yes, sir.
there were some questions you left out from earlier.
Questions I left out. Like what?
The cylinder. We was doing, we didn't finish it.
Okay. The cylinder we didn't finish. Yeah, I know that cylinder we didn't finish. That one, the last question was 1 to 20. And I haven't figured that out yet. That one was that was this calculate the total surface area of the model using that scale. I'm not sure what we have to do on this one. I'm not sure. So that's why we haven't done it yet. Maybe you have to divide by 20 with the answer you get for the beginning. Maybe that's how it is, but I'm not sure yet. That's what I'm thinking though. I can't see it any other way, but I want to be sure with that one. I'm sure with this one. Yeah. And then the same thing with this one. Same thing with C. I thought about it today and I'm like, I am not sure how to use the graph to solve it. So those two are outstanding. C and C. Both C's are outstanding. I sure about that.
What we doing, Mr. Batia? I guess come back.
We just started. We ain't doing none yet.
Okay.
Okay, so and yesterday we ended with I think we started this question, we completed it. And so let's move on to the sets question. And then we'll go back to the 2019 paper. Okay, so please take this down. Alright, so here we have the universal set. And the universal set contains the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So please write this down. Then we can do this together. And then we have a subset of the universal set. Basically some numbers from the universal set, which we group them and we call that X. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Sorry, just 2, 4, 8, and 10 rather. And then Y is going to be another subset of the universal set, which is 6, 8, and 14.
I have a question, Mr. Batia.
Go ahead.
I want to know, like, in sets questions, we use the curly bracket, and in like a specific question, we sometimes don't use it. What question asked me again?
Oh yeah, when they ask for the number of items, we don't we do not list we do not use the curly brackets.
That's the only time.
That's the only time.
Okay.
It's the only time. Okay, so using the sets above, state whether each statement is true or false. So using these sets, state whether each statement is true or false. So first of all, let's read this. What does it say in words?
It is not in set Y.
Yes, 8 is not, 8 is not an element of set Y, or 8 is not in set Y. Now, is that true or is that false?
That's false.
It's absolutely false. Why is that false?
Because 8 isn't set Y.
Yeah, definitely. Because 8 is in set Y. So that's definitely false there. So 8 is an element. If we say 8 is not an element of Y, that's false. Because it is an element of set Y. Alright, the second one. Can anyone read this?
Mm. Mm. No, sir. I don't know what that is.
Okay, anyone else? What is it saying?
Like they talking about 4 and 6, but
Yeah. What does this mean? Anyone? Anyone?
is that another way to say that they ain't an X?
No. This is saying that the set which contains the element which contains the elements 4 and 6 the set which contains the elements 4 and 6 is a subset of X. So this symbol there is subset. Okay, so it's a subset. So it's saying that the set which contains the elements 4 and 6 is a subset of X. So the question is this element, so is this set rather, is it a subset of X?
No.
No. Why is it that?
Wait, I'm X is a subset of the first one.
It is.
So, oh, oh, but no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Anyone else? Is 4, 6 a subset of X? The set that contains 4, 6 a subset of X?
Wait, Mr. Petit, I have a question. They meaning like if it in X and if X is a subset or like what?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do we mean by subset?
And it's
A set
in
within a
the
set.
set.
Go ahead, Nancy.
A subset is a set within a set.
Say it again.
A subset is a set within a set.
Okay, so a set within a set. How did you say it, Miss Cooper?
I just say in a set.
Okay. All right. So a set within a set. That's basically the idea. So if we take the set, let me just give you a pictorial example. So if we have two sets, so let's say we have this one, and then we have another one. So the first one is in red, the second one is in blue. This one is A, this one is B. We would say that, which one is in which? Which one is in which?
DNA.
B is in A, right? Good. So B is in A. That means that B, the set B, is a what? Is a subset
B is a subset of A.
of A, yes. So B is a subset of A. Alright, so that's what we mean by subset. It is a set within a set. And I know I've taught this before. Yes or no?
Yes, so. But I just didn't know what the symbol was.
Okay, good. So B is a subset of A. Alright, so okay, so that's what we mean by subset. So if we look at this, is 4, 6 a subset of X? And so what we need to do is we need to
No?
say no,
Yes.
say yes. So let's look at X. So this is going to be our X set. It contains the numbers 2, 4, 8, and 10. Now, is this set which has 4, 6, is it inside X? Is it inside this one?
No, so.
Why?
I don't see 6 there.
Exactly, there's no 6. So that means that 4, 6 is not a subset of X because all we have is 4. We don't have 6. Now, if we add 6, then we could say, okay, yes, it is right there. It's a subset. It's inside of it, right? But we do not have 6. 6 is not a part of X. So we cannot say that 4, 6 is a subset of X. Is that clear? Do you understand that? Hello?
Yes, on my bad.
Okay. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that 4, 6 is, all two of these elements is not inside X. And so that means that we cannot find this grouping inside of X. And so this is definitely true or false?
False.
False.
So I was right, but didn't know if I was right or not.
Yeah, false. So any questions on that?
No, so.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, good. Oh wow, all these people are solving. I didn't realize that. All right. Okay, so let's go back to our question. Remember, if you're just joining us, please place here or present in the chat box to indicate that you are here and accounted for. I really hope we didn't allow peanut eyed garden here. Really hope to. Let me see. I really hope. Okay, we got it. Screw. All right. All right. So this is the questions right here. We want to list the members of this. Then we want to list the members of this one. So let's put it all together. Remember, sets is one of those big topics that you must know how to do. Okay, they should be natural to you. Any sets question you need to be able to do properly, because when they come in rounds of 10. So like,
I swear.
yeah, so you need to know your sets properly. All right, so how do we read this?
X union Y.
Say it again.
X union Y.
Yes, X union Y. X union Y is what we have here. And so when we say union, what do we mean?
The numbers in set X and Y.
The numbers in set X and set Y
Without
combine
repeat.
without repeating. Okay. So here, are we gonna use curly brackets, Cooper?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because we're listing the members of the set. So we have to use curly brackets. So we try to do it in order as much as possible. So it's gonna be 2. Then after 2 comes what?
4.
4. And after 4 comes what?
6.
6 from Y, yes.
Then 8.
Then 8. How much times are we gonna write 8?
Once.
Just once. Even though it comes twice.
That's it.
And then what?
10 and 14.
10,
10. Then 14.
then 14. Very good. 10 and then 14. All right, so that's us. Okay, so are we good with that? Are we good with that? Hello, any questions for that? Are we good?
We're good. We're good.
Thank you. All right, so this one, how do we read this?
Y complement.
Y complement. Okay, so what does it mean?
Every other number but Y.
Yeah, every other number that is
But
inside what?
mm, X.
Not X.
Universal set.
Yes, every number
Yeah. Okay.
inside the universal set except for those that are in
Y.
Y. Okay, so again, Y complement means that we want all the numbers in the universal set, all the numbers in here, except for the numbers that are in Y. All right, so that's what we're looking for.
Mr. Petit,
Yes, ma'am.
you just come back, sorry.
Okay, no problem. So what I was saying is this is Y complement, and Y complement means everything inside the universal set
Except
except
Y.
for Y. Yeah. So what numbers we cannot include from this?
6, 8, and 14.
6, 8, and 14. Very good. Because they are in Y. So we don't want 6 because 6 is in Y. We don't want 8 because 8 is in Y. And we don't want 14 because 14 is in Y. Anything else and everything else we put. So it's going to be... Now we also put the curly brackets. Don't forget your curly brackets. It's going to be 2, 4, 10, and 12. 2, 4, 10, and 12. Two, 4, 10, and 12. Alright, so we understand that? Do we understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so
Right there.
alright, so okay, so that's how we do it. So please copy this down, and then I think we already have it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so moving right along. So this is the union, and this is what this is the complement. No one sent me any photos yet. If you're ready, wrote it down.
Right.
Please send me a photo of what you have. Okay, so let's continue in the question. So here we still have these numbers, these sets, the universal set x and y. And so here we have this particular one.
Let's repeat. I coming back.
No problem. Um, does anyone know what this does? Is anyone familiar with this?
The number of x complement. I don't know if I said that right.
The number of elements in the universe set besides X.
Besides x, yes. Now, to be honest, I don't know why they use a small x. They should use a capital X. So it should have been like this. This is. It seems like this is a mistake. So it's supposed to be like this. Capital X. Complement. But even that I don't like, because it's supposed to be inside of it. So it's supposed to be like this. And that's really to show the complement there. This one, they made a mistake with the notation. It's not supposed to be a small x. And that prime is not supposed to be on the outside of it. The prime is supposed to be on the inside. Otherwise, I don't know what they're trying to say, because this right here, I can't tell you what it means because they're using a small x.
I know that is, I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's the numbers in set X complement.
Yeah, that's what I believe it is, but they wrote it wrong. It's supposed to write it like this. Because they supposed
Or
to,
you run with a small x.
yeah, they use a small x. We don't want a small x. It's capital X. And it's supposed to be prime on the inside, not prime on the outside. So, yeah, I believe that this is a typo or something like that. So I'm gonna consider it as the number of elements in an X complement. So if we were to do it like that, which I honestly believe that's what it is, the number of elements in X complement, which is that, we have the go to universal set. So it's our universal set, and we have to remove every element that is also a part of X. So what numbers we're gonna move?
2, 4, 8, and 10.
2, 4, 8, and 10. So no more 2, no more 4, no more 8, and no more 10. So what numbers are we left with?
6, 12, and 14.
So 6, 12, and 14. And how much numbers is that?
3. So we wouldn't put curly brackets.
No, just 3. Because they asked for the number of elements. Do we understand? Oh, we got 3?
Yes, so.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Kennedy say yes on the chat.
Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's move forward. The next one is number 4. What does number 4 say?
X intersect Y.
Say it louder.
X intersect Y.
Very good. And so we want where X intersect Y. And what is that? X intersect Y.
That's 8.
That's where, that's the numbers that they have in common, right?
Yes, so that's 8.
So if we go to X, this is X. X is 2, 4, 8, and 10. If we go to Y, it's just 6, 8, and 14. So what they have in common is 8. Is 8. 8 is what they have in common. Eight is what they have in common. And so the intersection is going to be just the number 8. Do we put curly brackets?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Even though it's just 1 inside of it, it didn't ask us for the number of elements, it just asked us for the element itself. So it's 8. So 8 is the only number in the intersection. Alright, can we move on?
Yes, sir.
Alright, that's good. Please, as we move on, please take a picture of the notes that you have and send it to me via WhatsApp. Again, take a picture of the notes that you have and send it to me via WhatsApp. Thank you.
My phone was dead too.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. Rackley, for sending it already. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. The rest of you, please send in the notes. Thank you, Juan. All right, so let's move on. All right, complete the Venn diagram, writing each member of X and Y in the correct region. So now we have to complete the Venn diagram.
So we're placing the things inside.
Yes, so we are. All right, so it's going to be. It's going to be so this is the universal set 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and then we need to fill it in. So what goes into X?
Mr. Matthew, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Like how 12 ain't and none of them not going outside?
Yes, that goes on outside. Very good.
Oh.
So let's first deal with X first, right? So X is gonna have 2, 4, and 10, and 8 in the middle. Y is going to have
6, 8, and 14.
6, 8, and 14. 6, 8, and
Just 6 and 14 because 8 is there.
yep. Next up we have the rest that we didn't include. So we already have 2, we already have 4, we already have 6, we already have 8. So we are left with, we already have 10.
Hello?
So it's gonna be 12 and 14 on outside. No, we already have 14 too. So the only number on outside is 12.
So,
Alright, so that's how we do it. So again, we have 2, 4, 8 is 4. It's gonna be 2, 4, 8, and 10. And then 6, 8, and 14. And then 12 on the outside. Alright, so let's move on. Are we good with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
that's good. Pretty simple, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Alright, so let's move on. That's good. So we go on to number 10. Okay, almost finished number 11 and 12. We finished all of 12. And 13, we basically finished. Just see we gotta do. So we on number 10. Okay, so let's move on. The question is calculate the area of the triangle ABC. Alright, so let's move this. So the first question says that we need to find the area of this. So calculate the area of triangle ABC. Now triangle ABC is gonna be which angle? Which triangle?
The top one.
The top way. So ABC is the length of this. It's the ABC is the should I say it's the letter, it's the name of this triangle. Sorry, that's the name of this triangle. And they want us to figure out what is the area of the triangle. How would we do that? One moment, come here, bud. So area is going to be equal to what? What is area going to be equal to of a triangle? Anyone?
Which one, Mr. Badee?
Area of a triangle A, B, C.
Base times height.
Half base times height. Can we use that formula here? This is 3 points. This is 3 points. I don't think it's that simple, they say. Triangle ABC.
So we can't use that.
I don't think so. Because half base times height would just be too easy for this one. So I know that this is what they're talking about. Area of triangle ABC. The problem with that is that we need the height. The height is do they have any information about this? Calculate the area of triangle ABC. See, the height of this thing is
Is it A plus B plus C?
A plus B plus C. What you mean? What you mean?
We use that sign thing.
Like the area is, don't get me wrong, the area of a triangle is half base times height. The only thing is that we don't have our height. We don't have our height. We don't have the height of this triangle. Because the height is perpendicular to the base. So height is supposed to be running like this. Let me just show you what I mean. Look, area of triangle formula. Okay, so area is going to be half. It's going to be, look, so we have AC and we have our base. The height, look at this carefully. The height is going to be perpendicular to the base. So that means it's
We don't have height.
say it again.
We don't have a height.
No, we don't have a height. The height is perpendicular to the base. So that's the problem we have right now. The height is perpendicular to the base. We have A, C, and B. So we look. What I mean is, look, we have A. We don't have this one. We have the base though. The base is 22 centimeters, but we don't have the height. All right. So what we have to do? What we have two sides though.
Do we have to do the formula and then do the base formula like after we find C? Like first we find C, then we do the base times, the 2.5 times the base and the height.
Basically the opposite, right? We doing the opposite
You mean
of base times over 2.
trying to find the opposite here? How
No,
would that,
Yeah.
how would that help us? Remember, no. How would that help us? Because remember what we're missing? We're missing this. This is what we're missing. We have the base. We have A. We don't have C, but C don't matter. Like C doesn't matter. We need this height.
Can we cut the base in half? Divided by 2?
No, but then the base. If
We multiply by 2.
if we divide by 2 or
That's what I'm
multiply by
saying.
2, that still is not going to give us the value of the height. The height is a value that's perpendicular to the base. That is usually given to us in the questions. This time they want us to find it out. Or what we could just do is we could find the area of a triangle using, because we have two sides and an angle. So this is what we need. This is what we need out. Area of a triangle using two sides and an angle. Let's see if there's a formula for that. They still giving me area of a triangle formula. If two angles on one side, okay, so side, angled side. What area of triangle? Let's see. So we have area of triangle. So we have side, angled side. So where AB are two known sides and C is the included angle. Yeah, this is the formula that we're dealing with. Look at this. So
this is for us.
say it again.
I never seen this before.
Yeah, the same for y'all.
Oh.
So this is the formula that we need to use for area of triangle. So the area of the triangle is going to be equal to A times B times sine of C all over 2, where A and B are two known sides and C is the included angle. So the idea here is that we have this angle here. We know this angle, right? We know this side and we know this side. Okay. Then if we have this angle here and we know this side A, we know the side B, then what we need to do is we could use this formula which tells us that the area is going to be equal to A times B. So you multiply this side by this side and you times it by sine of C, sine of this angle, divided by 2. Okay, so that's how we would basically do it. So this is another thing right now. This is what we have here still. Again, if we have a middle angle and we have, say this one is 21.2, this one is 31.6, we still don't know what the side is. All we need to do is to find the area of the triangle. We would say 31.6 times 21.2, which is these two, and multiply it by sine of the angle, divide that by 2, and we get our answer. So that's exactly what we have. I don't know if y'all can see that. Like,
So 22 times 18.
yes, that's exactly what we have. We have a side that we know. We have a side that we know, and we have an included angle. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to multiply 18 by 22, and then do sine of 38, and then divide it all by 2. So that's how we have to do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we cannot use regular area of a area of triangle. We can't use a regular one. We have to use this one. So area of a triangle in this case, area of triangle. So area of triangle ABC is going to be equal to, so we're going to call this one A, we're going to call this one B. So it's going to be equal to, remember it says what the formula is,
22 times 18.
yeah, A
times B.
times B
Sine C.
sine of capital C divided by
2.
2. It's going to be equal to A, which is
18.
18.
You have to include the centimeters.
Because remember it's going to be area, so it's going to be
Oh, square.
yeah, squared. Then B is 22 centimeters. Sine C, so it's going to be sine of
38.
sine of 38, yeah. All divided by 2. So what we have therefore is, what is 18 times 22?
396.
396.
396.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear that. That's 396.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Centimeters times centimeters is what?
Centimeter square.
Wait, don't we multiply by the 38?
No, this is sine of 38 though.
Oh,
Yeah. So divided by 2. Okay, so what is sine of 38?
Let's see, when this is sine of 38, what that mean?
We got to use the
Let's do it.
say it again.
What
One thing.
sine of 38 means?
I get in the decimal.
Begin a decimal.
Mm-hmm. 0.61566, and it keeps going.
148.
Okay, so it's gonna be
No.
okay. So sine of 38. All right, so it's gonna be sine of 38, which is got 0.6. What I'll do, since I get a decimal, I'll just do it one time. So I'll just do 3.9, 396.
What's the day?
Yes, sir.
I thought you were supposed to do 396 sine 38.
You could do that. You could do that.
Then divide by 2, I get 121.9.
Yeah, that's okay. We could do it like that. I just checking with sine of 38 was because Anansi told me she got a decimal.
Yeah.
396 times sine 38 divided by 2. 121.9.
Yes. Centimeter squared, right?
Yes, centimeter squared. Okay, so it's gonna be 121.9.
7 o'clock already?
Yeah, I don't know how. Thanks for reminding me. Let me take the schedule. Take the not the schedule, but let me take the attendance.
Attendance.
Okay, so we have to do 121. Sorry. So 121.9 centimeters squared. All right, so it's 121.9 centimeters squared. All right, so that's the area of this triangle ABC. And anyone knew that you could do the area triangle without using half base times height?
No, I didn't know that.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Or you've done this way before?
I
Oh,
heard,
that's new to me.
I heard of the formula in class, but I never like thought it was can be actually be used on the exam.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting that without without using half base times height you can do it. But then that's important because
I
with
have a
go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Okay, right. I'm looking at it right, and the numbers. Why don't the numbers like add up? Like how all of the numbers are, um, like
Yeah. Yeah, below. That's a good question.
five.
Why is that so high?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's see. Maybe because that's 18 times 22. Maybe because that's a good observation because that's too long for that's too long to be right. Let's see if it's because let me see this. What do we have here? We have it's what? Our angle is how much? 20?
18.
18?
18.
No, our angle is 38, right?
Oh, no, 38. Yes, okay, 38.
And then our length is what? 18?
18.
Oh, Nancy. Come on, Nancy. 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 You want me checking this thing like a crazy. Um, Nancy,
Yes, sir.
this is area.
Oh
This is
shoot.
the area of this thing, not the length of the side.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Area. This is the area of this triangle, not the length of AC. All right. Are we good? Are we good, Nancy?
Yes, sir. Because we were so caught up trying to figure out
Yeah.
the length. I thought, okay, that's sorry.
Mr. B.
Yes, sir.
So whenever we trying to find the area of a triangle without the height, we use this formula.
Yeah, we use this formula. Now, the thing is, the way how you know is that no height was given. So no height was given, and it's important to know what is the height, man, because some people would use, they would use 18 and 22 and say that 22 is the height, or they might even say 18 is the height and say 22 is the base, and they'd say 22 times 18, and that's half base times height, and they'll get it wrong. You have to understand that the height of a triangle is always it always forms a right angle with the base. So this right here is the height. It always forms a right angle with the base. Okay, so we don't know this length. We don't know it. So we can't use half base times height because we don't know the height. Okay, and so just be careful with that. Always ensure that if you're using something as the height, it's perpendicular to the base.
See,
Yes, sir.
what field does the team use?
Engineering. That's the first thing that I really did. Engineering. Um, yeah, engineering. I'm sure like that's not the only place, but for sure, readily its applications in engineering. Physics too. Anything to do with physics. Um, they use these sort of stuff. Um, and then you have applied mathematicians. They use these stuff. But these stuff is so basic, like it's like learning letters of the alphabet. You like, all right, like, did you use? Let me give prime example. Did you use X or Z today in your writing or speaking today?
Yes.
You use X and
Wait.
Z.
Um.
Do you use it a lot, like X and Z?
No.
No, right? But what if you found someone who didn't know what X is and what Z is? What would you do?
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah,
They don't know they have that.
yeah. You look at them and say, "Man, that's weird." I mean, yeah, we don't use it every day, but come on, like that's it's so fundamental that, like, come on, you should know it. As the same thing with these stuff. Like, to you they may seem big, right? But these stuff are so fundamental. Like, when it comes to the hierarchy of math, these stuff are so small that it's like, why don't, like, it's like you don't learn them to say, I learned them because I gonna use them in everyday life. It's the same thing with Z and X. Like, you don't learn them because you're gonna use them every day. You learn them because they are what we call foundation, right? So the same thing with this. It's like foundational stuff. You know what I mean? And for those who are going on to physics and engineering and applied mathematics, it's useful for them more so. Um, but for the rest of us, it's just making us more exposed to stuff. You know what I mean? And it's so fundamental that it's like, it's like learning X and Y and Z, even though you don't use it every day. All right, so all right, so let's go. Okay, so let's continue with the rest of the question. Um, so next question says, no, let's move. Let's not do the second part. Let's go back to this paper. Then we go back to that. We good? So we finished this one. That was sets. Time graph, as usual. Okay, so
How are you right now?
18. The line graph below. This is actually line graph, so it's in time graph here. The line graph below shows the number of students from grade 7 through 12 who tried out for soccer team at school. Anyone ever tried out for soccer team?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. Did you make it? Did you make it on the team?
yeah.
Okay, well that's lovely.
Surprisingly.
Because what happened, it ended up happening to me is they end up not putting me on the team.
Ouch.
Literally for real. I mean, I was on the team for one season, and then after that, the next season, if I remember clearly, like all I remember is that they was doing disqualifications, and then my name was called, buddy. I was like, what?
You was hurting.
I was hurt. I was hurt,
I
buddy.
just got asked to use her.
I was hurt. I was really hurt. But But I did play on the team before though, you know. But for some reason that year I didn't make it, man. Um, anyway, someone get the handkerchief. Um, so so we have grade level 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we have number of students. Good. And so yeah, so this is four students, 6 students, 8 students, 12 students, 9 students, and 11 students. All right, so for grade 7, the number of students who tried out for the soccer team in grade 7 was 4. How much students from grade 8 tried out for the soccer team?
6.
6, yeah, 6. How much from grade 9?
12.
Good.
12.
That's a lot, eh? Grade 9 is
Yes.
jumpy. I don't know why they're so jumpy to play. Uh, they probably realized that they need a club to join before graduation, so they hurry up to try to join the soccer team. Grade 10,
8.
8.
8.
Grade 11,
5.
yeah, 5. And then grade 12,
11.
11. Good.
Then
Good. So the question asks the following. So let me get this graph.
I can get the question. Yeah, real quick, please.
No problem.
surprisingly, I don't finish drawing.
Uh, one, you won't believe what happened. The lady's off the island, you know.
Oh, you mean the thing? Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah.
she say she's off the island. She'll be back, I think, 2 weeks or something. She say. Um, but she gave me another way, so we can venture into that. We'll talk more of it offline. But she's not on the island right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. All right. So, which grade level had the largest number of students trying out? That's what grade what?
9.
Grade 9.
Grade 9.
Grade 9. How many students from grade 11 tried out?
5.
5.
Yeah, like we saw.
5.
5. All right, so 5 students. Um, how many more students from grade 12 tried?
5.
Excuse me, Mr. BC. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You got to write down the
5.
the bar, the
Yes,
graph.
sir. Yes, sir. Grade. So for grade 12, we had how much?
We have 11.
11.
11, as we saw earlier. And from grade 8,
6.
we had 6 from grade 8. So grade 8 is going to be this. So that is 6. And so if you want to figure how much more students from grade 12 tried out than from grade 8, we're going to say 11 minus 6. And 11 minus 6 is what?
11 minus 6 is 5.
Yes,
5.
So
5. All right, is that clear?
Yes, I could finish write the last question, please.
No problem. As long as it's not Nancy asking a question, you good.
Nancy tired.
Yeah, she.
Hold on.
You good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So moving right along. So B. So only last one we didn't put how many students tried it out altogether.
12.
How many students tried? 12? You sure? Just 12?
Yeah.
12? Come on, it can't be 12. How many students tried out altogether? How much we had from grade 7? We had
4.
4 from grade 7. From grade 8 we had
6.
6. From grade 9 we had
12.
how much we have from grade 9?
12.
Yeah, 12. From grade 10 we have
8.
8. From grade 11 we have
5.
5. And from grade 12 we have
11.
11.
46.
So let's add all them together. So
46.
we have 46. So we have 4 plus 6 plus 12 plus 8 plus 5 and plus 11. Can anyone verify 46 for me, please?
I could.
You could? All right.
Is equal to 40.
46, okay. Right, so we get 46. So how many students altogether? 46 students try out for the soccer team. "46 students." Any questions on that? Well, it's pretty straightforward.
Straightforward.
Yes.
It was straightforward.
All right, that's good. All right. Okay, so let's move on to this.
What am I supposed to do?
What happened?
Never mind, got it.
Okay. So calculate the size of angle. Oh my goodness, this is for how much points?
Oh boy.
5 points. Oh my. So you know they can catch through hell and high water for that.
Now what?
All right.
There's two triangles and a straight line.
Yeah, 2 triangles and a straight line is correct. All right, good. So calculate the size of angle DBC. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Calculate the size of angle DBC. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So the angle that we're looking for is, we have D, B, and C. Alright, so again it's D, B, and C. And they want us to figure what is this angle, because and we know it's this angle because why? We know it's this one in red. Why? How do we know it's that they want us to find?
Huh?
How do we know it's this angle they want us to find? And they give us 2 letters. So how do we know it's B?
C is in the middle.
Good, because B is in the middle. Right?
Oh.
Right? So we always look at the one in the middle. So they want us to figure what this one is, and we do not know what that is. Now, the good thing is that they give us the length of 3 sides. So we got this length, we got this length, and we got this length. So we got the length of all 3 sides. We just don't have the length of this particular angle. And so for this one, we cannot use the sine rule, because for sine rule we need at least 1 angle already. So our best bet here, I would say, is cosine rule.
Jess is gonna knock this stuff.
Yeah, so we need to use cosine rule to figure this one out. Okay, so cosine rule, defining the given angle. So cosine rule for angle. So okay, so this is it right now. wish that they, yeah, they did it good here. All right, so it's the formula here we're looking for. I'm trying to figure if anyone have it. Okay, so this is also. This is also. I just want to see if anyone have it. Normally, anyway, they don't. So let me explain to you the rule, and we're gonna apply it. So this is the formula. The second one is what we're gonna use. So like they say here, this rule is used to find a missing side. The first one. This one, like if we missing a side, we could find it using this angle, using this formula. But the second one, if we're missing an angle, so this is rearrange cosine rule to find a missing angle. So if we're missing an angle, right? If we're missing an angle, we can use this formula to figure out what is the given angle, right? Now here, capital A would be our missing angle, and B, of course, would be the length of a side of this triangle, this side. C is going to be right here, and A is going to be right here. So in order to use this rule, yes, ma'am.
In the bracket, that's where B going.
B? What you mean?
Yes, sir.
What you mean? What you mean in the bracket?
What you said going on the side of, I mean in the bracket, right there.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is the given angle A, the missing angle that we're trying to find.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're trying to find out what that angle. So, I noticed that for this, in order for us to use this formula, we need to know what all the sides are. Okay, and that's why for the question, they give us the length of all three sides. So we know this length, we know that length, and we know this length. Okay, so the only missing thing that we have is this guy. Okay, so it's up to us. We can label it however we want to. I'm gonna call this one A. I'm gonna call this one B. I'm gonna call this one C. And so now we have cos of the given angle. Now the given angle here is not even capital B. It's not even capital B because capital B represents, well, yeah, it's B because they did say B here, didn't they? So the missing angle here is B. So cos of B is going to be equal to B squared. We're just using the formula. Now they have cos of A, but you know, it doesn't matter.
That's where the missing angle thing go.
So
that's why I asked if it's B.
Yeah, it's B, yeah. So it's gonna be B squared. You're thinking ahead, Miss Cooper, like that. So B squared plus what? C squared plus A, sorry, minus rather, minus A squared minus A squared divided by all divided by 2BC 2BC. Alright, so help me substitute. What is B?
25 centimeters.
Good. So it's gonna be So B here, like we said, is 25 centimeters. It's going to be 25.
5 centimeter square.
Yes. I'm not going to put the centimeters in here because it's going to take up too much space. So I'm just putting 25 squared.
Mr. Petit,
Yes, sir.
can you place the last like anywhere?
Yeah, so any, like, this could be B, this could be C, this could be A. The idea is
So it
that,
doesn't matter.
no, the idea is that once you square all of your, sorry, once you square all of your sides and subtract one of them.
Alright.
Yeah, because if we look at the general form, it doesn't tell us that. No, it doesn't. No angle here is all these is no. It doesn't. There's no side that has a specific. It have to be a certain letter. No. So we could these letters we could change them around and still be the same thing. So so B squared is 25 plus 22 squared. No. C is 17, right?
C is 17 square.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
17 squared minus A squared. A is 22.
22 squared.
Divided by 2. B is what?
25.
25. And C is what?
17.
17. That's going to be equal to 25 squared plus 17 squared minus 22 squared. So we're going to do that one time just to save us from doing so much calculations. So it's going to be 25 squared plus 17 squared minus 22 squared.
You don't want to tell you on that?
Yes, tell me one time.
You go back first.
Okay, why are you going back to 25 squared plus 17 squared minus 22 squared. So is that it? 25 squared plus 17 squared minus 22 squared.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
So 430. Right? 430 is what we got?
Mr. Tate,
Yes, ma'am.
could you just explain it one more time?
Where were you?
I stepped out to assist someone in the kitchen, and I came back and
Lonnie.
Not this man again.
Oh my
so
goodness.
if you could just do a quick
rundown?
yes, sir.
No problem. Alright. So we just was from where though? From the beginning of this question or just from where?
Okay, I understand the formula.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, you could start from the part underneath the formula, like the numbers.
Oh, the numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to know? Before I just explain, what do you want to know? Where we get the numbers from or?
Yeah, like the order in which you did it.
Okay, so like I was telling them, if we look at the formula, it doesn't matter which side we choose to be which. So It depends on what we want to call, what side we want to call A, what side we want to call B, what sides we want to call C. So what I did was I chose this side to be A, so I said that A is 22 and B is 25, C is 17. That's what I did. And you could change it up to, you could do whatever you want. Just make sure each side is accounted for.
So what you're saying is that A could be any angle. I mean
Any side, yeah.
any side.
Yeah, A could be any side. Only for this only is for sine rule, so like the cosine rule now. So don't try this with other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so because if we look at the formula doesn't restrict us in choosing. So if we look at this, right, A is equal to B squared plus C squared. No, the formula doesn't restrict us into us choose. The formula just saying take a side, square it. That's going to be equal to one side plus another side. So it's generic. There's no, there's no rule in choosing which side is which. So this doesn't matter. Same thing for this rule. There's no rule saying, oh, it have to be a certain thing. And even when it comes to A, wait a minute. There's a connection, A corresponds with that. So A corresponds with that A. So let's see what else. So apparently there is a connection. Wait. So this angle must correspond with that. That's the only connection I see that must be. So let's see if we did it. So this here must correspond with that. Okay, so oh. Okay. Okay, that's the only connection I see. Let's look at the other ones. A must be like so. Okay, so there must be a connection between that. Let me see if that holds true. Wait. Let's see if that holds true with the other.
Mr. Batty, what you're explaining now?
I'm trying to figure out because I said that. Oh, okay. Okay, there's a
What you
connection.
say?
Wait, one moment.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, there is a connection. There's something that has to hold true. Look at this. Capital A must correspond with small a. I seen that holds true every time. So, okay. All right. So that means that we have to be careful in what we use as A, because A must correspond with. Okay, good. All right. So my apologies. So
I'm not understanding.
I know. I'm thinking to myself. So I ain't explained it yet. Okay, good. So there is a rule you have to follow when choosing these letters, as I just have seen. So we made a mistake. Because if you look carefully, whatever you choose for A, capital A, must correspond with small a. That's the rule there. So whatever is your missing angle, it must correspond with this side right there. So there must be a correspondence between your missing angle and the one that you choose to be at the back here. So with that being said, we have to be careful with how we even name this. Okay, so this is my apologies. Let's do it over. Okay. So the formula said that cos of capital A is going to be equal to b squared plus.
You changing it?
Yeah, I changed it because there is a you have to be careful in how we choosing these letters. I thought it was just, it doesn't matter, but looking at it, I see a connection between this A and this A. That's the only connection I see, and we have to make sure that um, holds true. Okay, so that's what we have to do. So b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2 bc. Okay, so my apologies. So the missing angle here is called A, and so that means the corresponding side here, 17 is supposed to be A, and then the other ones doesn't matter. So then we are at liberty to choose what we want. So it doesn't matter which one is A or which one. So it doesn't matter which one is B and which one is C, but A have to be 17 as a must. All right, so because we don't have no sure, that's a missing side. That have to be that. Okay, so good. All right, so we're gonna call this one B. We're gonna call this one C. Okay, so now we're ready to roll. So this is gonna be cos of capital A. It's gonna be equal to B squared. So B is gonna be 25 squared. So my apologies with that. There is a rule that you have to follow for this missing angle. So this A, it have to correspond with this side. So this one have to be A. 17 have to be A. A cannot be anything else but 17. That's the only thing that we have to follow. B and C doesn't matter. But for sure A, A have to be 17. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
So it's gonna be squared plus C squared, which is 22 centimeters squared minus 17 all squared divided by 2 B times C, which is 22 times 25. So it
Mr.
doesn't.
Petit, sorry to cut you off. Any chance they give us this rule at the top of the bed?
Oh, let's check. You mean in the exam?
Yeah, an exam.
I believe they have, you just have to know. I believe they have. Okay, let me show you. They have to give you cosine rule, man. Let's see. If they don't give you cosine rule, boy, dog, eat your lunch.
Say that.
Yeah, here it out. Okay, you're saved.
Mr.
Wow.
D.
And look, they also give us the area of a triangle, right? Half AB sine C. And that's what we used just a while ago.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes,
D.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So when the tangent come into place?
Tangent. Tangent line.
Yeah, I know the tangent,
Where you see tangent?
front. And three of them are sine, cosine, and tangent.
Yeah, you mean this?
Yeah,
This?
something like that.
Do you mean this? Tan of A opposite.
Yeah, tan, yeah.
Yeah, tan. Tan comes into place when muscle and paper 2, to be honest. Muscle questions in paper 2. Yeah, they use tan. But here we don't have to use tan. Tangent is when we have when we are given an angle and the opposite, and so we're given the angle and its adjacent side, we're trying to find the opposite, or we are given the angle and the opposite, we're trying to find the adjacent, or we are given the opposite and the adjacent, and we're trying to find the angle. That's when you use tan. But I don't see tan being used frequently though. It's come once in a blue moon. But the good thing is that, like I said, the only thing that we need to make sure when it comes to this formula is that whatever we choose for this A must correspond to the missing side, to the missing angle. That's the requirement. So that's the only requirement that we must follow. Whatever we choose for this A, it must correspond with this missing angle here. So same thing with us. Whatever we choose for this A, it must correspond with the missing side that we're trying to choose. Okay, so this is going to be, so let's evaluate it. 25 squared plus 22 squared minus 17 squared. So we had it wrong. 17 is supposed to be here and 22 is supposed to be down. So we get what? 820.
Okay.
820 at the top. At the bottom, 22 times 22 times 25. I get
100.
1,100. 1,100. Still cosine of A.
So you have to divide.
Yeah. We're not gonna divide. We're going to now you may notice that we use A. Right? You may notice that we use
You gotta
A.
cross multiply, right?
No, we're not gonna cross multiply. We gotta do cosine. We're gonna do cosine inverse. So remember,
Hey, you apply this in your calculator. Okay.
yeah, we're gonna do it right now. Now you notice that I use A, right? A is the missing angle that we're trying to find. All right, and I did that so that we can see how we're using the formula. But the real angle that they asked us for is B. So you could do one of two things. You could leave it as A, just so that you can keep it with the formula, and that's what I advise you to do. So we basically renamed this angle B. We call it A, and then at the end we'll just say thus angle DBC is whatever. Okay, and we just do that so that we wouldn't get confused. And I said it because we know that capital A must correspond with, so our missing angle must correspond with this side, and so we wanted to keep that standard so that we could be able to see how we apply in the formula. So that's why I kept it as A, even though in reality our missing angle is actually B. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to take the cos inverse of both sides, cosine inverse of both sides. That means we're gonna do cosine inverse.
Mr. D,
Yes, sir.
what? So why you have to invoice it?
Because we want to get rid of the cos.
Okay.
We want to get rid of the cos. We just want to be left with A. And the only thing that is the opposite of cos is its inverse. So what the inverse does is the inverse undoes what is already done by the function. So the inverse does the opposite of the function. Okay? And so this A here, we're trying to put it by itself. That's our angle that we need to find. And in order to, basically isolate it, we have to take the inverse of both sides. Just like how we would, multiply both sides, divide both sides, subtract both sides. In order to get rid of that cos, because cos is a function and it holds A, we have to use its inverse to get rid of it. So we can't just like divide both sides with this. We have to do the inverse. So we are left with, so the inverse and the function is cancelled. So we are left with a equals to,
The -1 canceling with that 2.
no, yeah, -1 does. So it's going to be cosine inverse of 820 divided by 1100. So we are left with a is equal to cosine inverse of 820 divided by 1100.
I got 41.8.
What you got?
41.8.
41.8. So let's see. Scientific calculator. See. Let me see that.
Is it degrees?
Yeah, that would be in degrees.
Alright.
So cosine inverse of 820
Over
divided by
1,100.
yeah, and we get, you want it in degrees. What? Yeah, degrees.
Hold on. How do you do that? Put it on in the grid.
Your calculator should already be in degrees. And the way you can check, if your angle, if your calculator is in degrees, just do sine of 90. If you get sine of 90, tell me what you get sine of 90 in the calculator, and I'll be able to tell you if it's in degrees or radians.
I get 1.
Well, that means your calculator in degrees.
I get 0.99 or decimal.
You get 0.99?
Yeah.
You get 0.99? That's basically 1. Why they give you 0.99? Supposed to get 1. Make sure your calculator is in normal mode. It shouldn't be in no scientific notation type stuff mode. It ought to be in normal mode, like whole numbers mode.
What's my date?
Yes, sir.
I try and enter it inside the calculator. It gave me error.
Be careful when you do
Give me the error too.
number. Remember, I do cos inverse. I didn't do cosine.
I know. I see what you do.
All right, take a picture.
It
Take a picture
depends on the
of what you
calculator,
have.
I guess.
Like exactly what you have in your calculator. Take a picture of it now. So let me see. What you saying?
Okay, it gave me a 41.8. Yo.
Good. That's good. That's good. So you straight. Anyone else? Nancy's about to say something.
You say it depends on the type of calculator you have.
Oh, okay. So we have 41.8. No, take a picture of, not the calculator. Take a picture of what you have, what you insert. So to get that weird answer. That's what I mean. So we get 41.8. 41.8 degrees. So this right now, angle. So therefore, we have to write this down. Therefore, we have to write this back now. Therefore, angle, sorry, therefore angle DBC equals 41.8.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Yes, sir. Degree.
This is paper 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you close your bracket, Mr. Ricardo?
Yeah, I did.
What you get?
The arrow.
Oh
Say
my.
syntax error. I can do it again. Hold on.
Cos inverse of 800.
just do it. Then make sure you press shift.
He did, because you have inverse. Make sure to close that bracket at the end. Alright, any questions on this?
Does this frequently come with three?
Miss Reckley, be prepared for this and works.
Alright.
You and Miss Reckley, be prepared for this and works. This should be very familiar for you.
Yes, I. Okay.
I know it's very easy for you, um, but still practice. Right, Miss Reckley?
I feel like I have to stuff all of these formulas in my brain.
But remember, they give you the formula. The two
Yeah,
formulas.
they do, but they don't give us this cosine. We have
Yeah.
to remember that part, though.
Oh, you mean the cosine inverse?
Yeah, the inverse part.
Yeah. I
Stop.
mean, but what, like, I mean, what more you want them to give you? Like, they give you. Otherwise, they give you like 5 sheets of formulas. Like, they did their best. They put cos of A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2. And then, so you just need to use this and, you know, take the cosine inverse of both sides. Yeah, I think they did a good job with the formula sheet. They even give you the quadratic boy. They give you Pythagoras.
Mr. Petit, they give us these things, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still kind of hard because we have to know how to apply it. We can have the formula all we want.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you're going to apply it to the question they give you.
Mm-hmm.
The part I
Mm-hmm.
struggle with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. It's an application, and that's what they're testing, right? Do you not apply it? So that's the thing. All right, so I can't believe that this 2 hours went by so quickly. Um, so it brings us to the end of math for the week. Wow, good to believe that, right?
But that is Mr. Petit,
Yeah,
where H is equal to epsilon. So that is.
where we is.
I mean, it was. They just scroll up. Gotta go up. Yeah, where I say where S equal to slant height. But that, what equation are going?
That's when you're dealing with a curved surface, right? Um, and we have S. So where we have the formula pi r s, and S is going to be equal to the slant height. So they're just trying to say that what you need to do is you need to know what pi is, and know what the radius is, and then for S, you need to do a separate thing and find it's going to be your height squared plus your plus r squared. All right, so that's what they're giving you there. I haven't
Do
seen this though. I haven't seen this one come. It's interesting that they put it, but I haven't seen this one come.
please don't say that, Mr. Every time you say something that you never see, we see. Don't do that. Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
hey, I mean it's true. I never saw it. So, I don't know. They might surprise you. All. It's 2022, so they might say, you know what? They need to put it then. All right. But I think that overall y'all do well, man. Y'all should do well. Shouldn't be that deep. Okay, so that brings us to the end, sadly, of this session. For those of us who are Nancy, you never replied back to the bio thing that I said.
Oh, I'm Martha. I didn't know you wanted to. I thought you looked at my paper because I sent it to you. I thought you saw all of my answers and stuff.
Okay. All right. How much you get
If
right?
maybe I got 40 out of 50.
40 out of
Um,
50. All right.
yeah, but I'm trying to get an 8 because on paper one, because paper two as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the explaining comes in, and I try to grasp as much points as possible on paper one. Because if I get A paper one, I mean paper two, no matter what I do, I can still come out good for paper three, and then figure out paper five, I guess.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. All right. That's good. Um, I know you see a lot of biology popping up on my screen as I go through these things. That's because I'm working on some biology stuff for you. Mainly paper two though. Mainly paper two. So look out for them. I'm gonna be sending them soon. So look out for them. I already finished when I was 28, 20, 2013. I finished 2013, paper two, all of it. Um, and I'm working on 2016 now. I'm almost done with that. So, um, I'll send you it. But the way how it's gonna be done, it's gonna be done in a very nice way, very nice way. I believe. Um, it's gonna be done where it's the same thing what I do with the students in social and RK, where y'all know what I'm talking about, right, Miss Cooper? The
Yes, sir.
the
Very put. Oh,
multiple choice, yeah. So it's gonna be pretty nice. I looking forward to that, to sending you that.
Okay, Mr. But I have a question for paper five. Like,
Mm.
I really into with they don't change the coursework, right? Because
For
I
paper
have
five.
my old information for paper five. I just want to know that they don't change the coursework because I have to set a paper five.
For paper five, for paper five, they'll ask you um for paper five, you'll have to know a lot of experiments. So what you could do is you could go on I'll send you a playlist. There's a playlist. It's called GCSE Practicals for Biology.
Okay.
You have to know that you have to know the different experiments for that. And what they'll do, they'll ask you, okay, how do you measure? How do you record? How do you go about doing this experiment? La 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 la.
Using like what, like the quadratic stuff like that with the.
Quadrants and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I have little information on it, so I'll
Yeah.
just.
So that's how they usually test the skills, the skill A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
really-
yes, sir.
that graph what we did, right? That was also part of this paper. Not this
The
paper. I mean,
you mean the quadratic
uh,
the quadratic graph?
yeah, the number of students.
No, 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 no. Number of students. That was not paper three. That's Bgcse
Oh,
paper. Like no, that's too easy. Yeah, yeah. You see, we
yeah.
didn't go through that. We sailed through that. As a general rule, any question you see we take less than 5 minutes on, that is not. That is not 2019 paper 3. All right. Okay. All right. So I'll say good night to the rest of you all. For social studies people, let's continue. So let's continue. Where are we? What is the last thing we did in social? Can any of one of you remember?
Remember I wasn't here the last time.
Oh, you mean that night when you duck us?
I didn't duck y'all. I didn't have my book. There was no point.
What you mean there was no point? You at least could have stayed and
That
learned.
was, I was tired. I ain't gonna lie.
Ah, okay. Nah, that's the truth.
No, but I didn't have my book also. So yeah.
Okay. All right, that was the part of it. Just tell Mr. Petit I don't have my book. I could slide out. All right. So the last thing we did, anyone? What's the last thing we did on social studies? You want to remember?
Trade, like competition with.
Competition, yes. He's talking about what?
I want to discover new lands. Like for example, Spain was about to start it,
Say it again.
and Spain they was going to be the first to go in a new world. And Portugal want to do it, so it was some I forget. It was like a treaty when the Pope had the right, and he draw a line, and whatever that line crosses from, that Spain owned that, and the other half is for Portugal, even though Portugal had a little half, but um, they was doing this because they don't want to be in a war.
All right. Some of those things we mentioned, and some I think you remember from school, because we didn't get into that. Um, so the last time we was talking about like basically why um we had a lot of voyages during the 15th century. Like why? Because we still in the broad theme of the beginning of European exploration. And the natural question is, why go out and explore? Like, why do that? And we mentioned several reasons why, you know, they would go out and try to explore new territory and find new land. Can anyone give me some of the reasons?
I made him rich or something.
If it made them rich, yeah. Um, what else? What's another reason? Let me share my screen with you all so you can see it.
Um, they would get um gold and silver and stuff from India and China.
Well, the first reason that we talked about on last week was rivalry between the two countries, right? And we say what rivalry means. Anyone can remember what rivalry means? Rivalry. And if I say Miss Coop is my rival,
The person they're going against, or like an enemy.
yeah, enemy, right? So rivalry between the different countries is another reason behind the various voyages that took place at this time. So the countries were at war. They were at more so at competition. That's a better word. And Spain wanted to do better than Portugal, and Portugal wanted to do better than Spain. Now they had a problem because um the territory that was around them was already settled. Like, it's like you and your neighbor have a fight, or you and your neighbor have competition with each other, but you already know that there's a fence between y'all. And if you want to get something from your neighbor, like if you want to get more land from your neighbor, the only way you can get that is if y'all go to war, right? And you're trying to avoid that. So you're saying, okay, well, I can't get more of their land because if I do that, then I'll have to go to war, and I really ain't on that run. Even though I might beat them, it's just that I just ain't on that run right now. I just want to get more land without having to do all that, fighting and stuff. So like we said, the note said, since the map of Europe was now settled, no further territory could be gained there without going to war. All right. And so the map was already settled. They already know what is theirs, what is not theirs in Europe. And so if they wanted that land, they had to go to war to fight for that land. So they said, you know what? Nope, let's do something else. But the something else that they decided to do is decide to look for new land, right? And then in the new land would what would it do? How would it help them, the new land, if they discovered it? How would it help them?
Can you repeat the question, please?
How would the new land help them?
They'll be like more rich when they find gold.
Yeah.
They will please the Pope to
Yes.
convert the people from Christianity.
Yes. Yes. You on point, Miss Kennedy. You're right. So like we said there, if new lands could be discovered abroad, these would be added to the Spanish or Portuguese empires and hopefully increase the wealth of these rulers. So they was looking at increasing their wealth. Okay. So two reasons we talk about so far why um why they were looking for more land, why they was looking for more um why they was looking for to go on these voyages. Number one, they was at competition with each other. Number two, they did it to increase their wealth. Number three, we talked about this earlier, is that um no more land could have been um taken away or could have been gained where they live, because if they try to do it, they would end up going to war, so they don't want to bother with that. So another thing is that they wanted to convert the natives to Christianity. Who are the natives? We talked about this last week. Who are the natives? Who would be?
What?
Say it again. The natives. Who are the natives?
The people who were there in the new land.
The people who are already there, right? Right? They are the natives, right? And so they would also try to convert them to Christianity, and this would please the Pope. So that was another reason why they, would do it.
Well, hold on, say
Say it again. Say it again.
who tried to convert who to Christianity?
Um, the the explorers. Okay, the explorers would try to convert these people to Christianity. All right, when they come there. So, for example, Christopher Columbus, when he come, and the other persons when they come to these new lands, they would try to push Christianity on these people, and that's what ended up happening. But they end up using force, and it ended up turning out to be bad. Okay. So another thing is that now, so that's when it comes to the administration. That's when it comes to the people who were um the people who were who in charge, and the king and the queen and the country. They want to increase their wealth. They had controversy or rivalry with different countries. They want to avoid war. That's when it comes to them, the kings, the queens, the nation itself. That's why they wanted to do these voyages. But when it comes to the navigators themselves, like the persons who are actually going, the explorers, the reason why they wanted to go on these voyages, right, was they wanted to prove themselves as professional navigators. So they basically wanted to show off, I am the greatest type mentality. So that's why they would go on these voyages. So they not only wanted to prove themselves as professional navigators, but they also wanted to get rich through trade. Okay, so that's also a huge motive when it comes to Christopher Columbus and the other rest of those navigators. They wanted to get rich, and of course, they also wanted to convert the people who they met to Christianity. And there is a thrill in travel, right? Um, they wanted adventure and they wanted to become famous. Okay, so that was the reasons why they decided to go on these voyages. Now, my question to you is, do you think that these are all the motives that we talk about why they wanted to go to travel? Do you think that these are good motives? Um, why or why not? Do you think that
Mr.
these are?
Basit,
Go ahead.
so you give me a few seconds. I trying to find my pen. I know it gone.
Okay, no problem.
Never mind. Sorry.
Found it good. Good. Why do you think that these are good motives that they had for wanted to explore?
Yeah, I want to get rich too.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyone else?
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting.
and
Um.
also I want to become famous.
Okay. Okay. I'm not expecting that
Okay,
either. I was not expecting.
I wanted to, yes, because I would want to become rich and famous, and um, yeah, I would want to convert to Christianity, but I want to become rich and famous. I just saying what I mean.
You just saying what
Just
you
saying.
just saying.
Yeah, I that's what she's saying.
Wow.
She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I want to convert Christianity too, but mostly the riches.
Exactly. Yeah,
Not really.
yeah, I can do this on the side. See, like my main thing, but my main thing is like get rich and famous. My goodness. Anyone else? Do you think that these are good motives to have for exploration?
I don't want to be that type, but getting rich through trade is good and all. I
Thank
don't.
you.
It's good. It's good. But back in those times, when you that rich, they stab you in the back. So I ain't know about that.
You don't know? Okay. All right.
Convert to Christianity.
That's a good motive, you think?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good motive.
Back in those times, they only want to do that to please the Pope. So
They only want to do the place the Pope. Okay, so that good. All right. Okay, so what would be your reason for exploration, if not these reasons? What would motivate you?
find new
What
lands.
would
I
define
just gonna say find a band, find a different places
finding
to
new new
go,
places? All
new
right,
locations,
new locations.
getting richer. Um,
All right.
Get your nice little home in your island.
bro, I just gonna say you have a secret place for you only.
All right. Okay. Interesting. So that's what would make you go on these long and daring voyages.
Don't forget get rich.
Oh, don't forget. Okay, don't forget. Okay, I understand. It's cool. Oh, you're one funny young lady. All right. Okay, so let's move forward. Um. All right. So that was motivations for travel for exploration. So that's made that very clear. I didn't make that clear yesterday. I mean last class. That was motivations for exploration. That's motivation for.
Mr. Complete,
Yes, mom.
we ain't playing no game today.
We doing hardcore work today.
Oh
Hardcore.
boy, I wasn't ready for that, but okay.
Hardcore. Hardcore.
The
Just one.
scuba sounds so devastated.
He said. Yeah.
Cause when I lost my pen, I was like, I don't even need it because we gonna play games, but that was right.
Yeah, we going hardcore today. Black and white, just black and white. And
Oh, my hand will be hurting. Mr. Basita, if I mess up a few little things, that's because you type too fast.
no, don't leave it on me. So now we're gonna talk about what made it all possible. Right? So yeah, you have these desires to want to go, to want to be famous, to do all those things, but what made it possible? And there's something very important that made it possible and made exploration very possible. And so we're gonna discuss that right now. So all right, so the first thing is the Silk Route. So the Silk Route, so write this down for me. The Silk Route was especially we gonna have to go over time with social. Um, the last thing we did in RK was hair was what? I mean, before spill the beans.
Last
Death
time,
of John.
apology.
That was what?
Death of John.
The death of John. Right, John's death. And yeah, the next thing that we have to do is Jesus calls to Levi. Did we already do Jesus calls to 12? No wait. 12 is
I
later.
remember
I don't.
that.
Okay, so we have to do that then. Jesus chooses 12. That'll be quick. So we could we could we could spend a little bit more time on social. Um so the Silk Route was
Like,
especially probably like 5 minutes over or 5 to 8 minutes over probably. The Silk Route was especially beneficial. I want us to get something in. To traders in the middle and eastern parts of Europe, which were closer to the east. Let me do it properly so you can be able to. Okay, this is good. All right, merchants from the Mediterranean cities such as Venice and Genoa, as in modern Italy, grew
This is
rich.
the thing. I way behind because my laptop going dead, so I had to try hurry up join on my phone.
Oh wow, gotta catch up then. Grew
You gotta
rich.
slow down.
Me slow down?
Poor boss.
Slow down? What does that mean? What does slow down mean? From
Yeah, that's true. You don't know what that means.
from their trade with China and India. So the Silk Route helped to make the voyages possible, but there's something else that also helps, right? That I really wanted us to talk about is what we call um, the Renaissance. Anyone familiar with the Renaissance?
Yeah, the navigation tools they came up with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, the navigation systems that they came up with. So that helped a lot with making it possible. All right. So by the end of the 15th century, a new, let me put a quote, new and exciting understanding of the world was being achieved by men in Europe. In many cases, this understanding was not new, but was, quote, rediscovered from the writings of the Greeks and the Romans. Hence the word Renaissance. Which comes from the Latin for rebirth. So just want to break that down for you. Coming down to the end of the 15th century, um, we had a rise of intellectual awakening. Right, people began to look at the writings of the Greeks and the Romans. They looked at the arts and the ideas of the Greeks and the Romans, and they started to admire them and to, you know, try to be more creative and try to, you know, do some inventions and try to expand their knowledge space, right? And this era of intellectual awakening, this era of, academic achievement and inventions and, all the and paintings and art and literature and writing, we call that the Renaissance. And the reason why it's called the Renaissance is because it is a rediscovering of what was already there, right? And so it was rediscovered, and pieces was added on to make it more elaborate, to make it more great, right? And so that's what it means when they say Renaissance. It means a rebirth of knowledge, and because it wasn't, wasn't being done for a while, and then the awakening started again, all right? And so that's the word Renaissance. So, and the Renaissance helped to make the voyages possible, because when it comes to maps and instruments and ships and the compass and the quadrants and all those things that were expanded upon and even made during the Renaissance, that helped to make the voyages possible. So yeah, they had motivations for the voyages, but in order to make the voyages possible, we had to have this awakening of knowledge. So the Greeks, which was borrowed from the Greeks and the Romans. So the Greeks and Romans had huge, or we say vast and successful empires in ancient times, spanning many centuries. After the decline of these empires, that was around the 5th century, there was a period called the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, also known as the Dark Ages. And it was dark because there wasn't really much inventions and knowledge being spread out and being utilized and being disseminated and such. So during this time, they call it the Middle Ages, which really is called the Dark Ages. During this time, generally, ideas were stagnant. What do we mean by stagnant?
All over the place?
No, stagnant means anyone else?
Together?
No, stagnant. Stagnant means something that is in one place or something that is progressing slowly. Okay? So during the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, knowledge, ideas, inventions was progressing slowly. And the populations of Europe achieved very little. So not much was happening in science and technology, right, during the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages. So none was happening in science and invention and exploration. All right. This was the time when the Catholic Church had huge sway, and not much was happening really. And they went on to tell us that the church. The reason for this is that the church at that time, the church was very powerful. Um, it rejected and suppressed ideas that might threaten its own power. You think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
But
Yeah, not good, right? So I believe that people, and that's why knowledge was suppressed a lot and ideas were suppressed a lot because the church had a lot of influence over the people, over the masses, and if something tried to threaten their ability and their stronghold, they would cast it away. It believed that people should accept its teachings no matter what. People were discouraged to think for themselves. So don't think for yourself. We do all the thinking for you. In case ideas spread that would stop them from devoting their their allegiance to the church. Alright, so we're gonna end right now. So right now we are in the Dark Ages, and it's really the Dark Ages, or also called the Middle Ages, where there's little invention, not much is happening in science, not much is happening in technology, not much is happening in exploration. Ideas is being suppressed. You're not allowed to think for yourself. You are to think only what the church tell you and to do only what they say. That's the Dark Ages. But after that, there came a Renaissance, where ideas blew up, inventions blew up, because people started to get tired of listening to a failing church. Okay, so we're gonna end there. All right, and the church that was really in sway during that time was the Roman Catholic Church. They was doing all the dirty work. Um, yeah, that was the issue there. But then the Renaissance came. Okay, so we're gonna end there for social studies. We're gonna move on to RK. Okay, any questions before I go?
You can leave it there for a second.
No, sir.
I would stop.
No, let's stop. Okay. So the next story that we're about to do um for our session together is Jesus chooses the 12. All right. How many disciples did Jesus have?
12.
12.
Yes, 12. That should be obvious, right?
Yeah.
No? Why?
I said yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir. It's obvious.
Yes. I don't know. I why in the world after the death of John? Okay, yeah. Okay, we good. We good. We good. After that of John, Jesus chooses the 12. All right, so it's gonna be quick because I want to be out there soon. So it's gonna be quick, short, and to the point. Um,
Sure.
yeah, this ain't gonna be long. So let's go. Alrighty, so today's the what? The 24th of March. There'll be our religious studies. And the topic is Jesus chooses the 12.
Mr. Petit,
Uh-huh.
you know the disciples of John?
There's a song that helps me remember it.
Yeah, me too.
What's the song?
Mr. Petit, did I not put a sing on this thing?
Okay, hum it then. Hum it.
Huh, not I.
Okay, what's the tune? There's a specific tune that it goes.
Hold on. Um, um, man, I sing it in my head.
Ah, come
It's
on.
a song. It's a song with our religious teacher. She shows us, and I can't stop listening to it because we have to remember the disciples, and that's the song I use. So
Okay,
when you say that, that's the song that come to mind.
okay. The song that comes to mind is um Jesus called them one by one. That's it.
Yeah, that's it there.
Yeah. Yeah, see? I
A
mean,
nice teacher say.
yeah. All right. So I'm gonna teach y'all that song then.
I agree.
All right. So when we say disciple, what do we mean?
Follower of
Student, a person who
Jesus.
learns.
Or what? Follower.
Follower of Jesus.
Just disciple. When we say apostle, we talking
The
about
one who was sent, a messenger.
one who was or is chosen, and this typically refers to the original. I just say sometimes used to refer to the 12 disciples Jesus chose. So over time, the disciples, because they was there long enough and they had more experience, over time they called them apostles. Um, so now, what did Jesus do before he chose his disciples? He went to the mountain to pray before he chose his disciples. That's very important. So he wanted the guidance because he wanted guidance and direction. So why did Jesus choose disciples? What's the point?
So,
To help him, right, in his ministry. To train them to take over the ministry after his ascension, to have witnesses. It's very important to have witnesses that his teachings are witnesses of his miracles and that his teachings were true, to represent the 12 tribes of Israel.
we reading the thing?
What? No, we're not reading it. We're not reading it today.
Okay.
And so now we're gonna list some names of Jesus's disciples. So we have Simon, Peter,
James, John, Andrew,
this is the
Judas,
brother of Andrew. Then we have Andrew, which is the brother of Peter, of James, son of Zebedee. We have John,
Mr. Petit.
son of
What for when they say when they say to train them to take over his ministry after his ascension,
yes.
and and um when when he was praying, right, and the Sanhedrin he'd gone before the senior council, and his disciples to flee or something.
They did.
Of Peter.
They did.
So so how they were supposed to take over the ministry if they'd run away from him or like left
Yeah,
him?
but remember they did come back. So what I mean is that after he already get crucified and everything, and then he resurrected, he brought them back together, and then he asked Peter, Peter, do you love me? He asked Peter that 3 times, and he said, if you love me, then feed my sheep. And so he leaves Peter in charge to take over the ministry after he left, and then he told them to wait on the Holy Spirit in the upper room, and the Holy Spirit did come on the day of Pentecost, and they was able to basically take over the work that he started. So that
Okay.
that part where they ran away, that's just a point of weakness that they had, you know. So James the son of Alphaeus.
They had three sets of brothers or just two?
Three types of what?
Three sets of brothers, so more than.
Well, we see James and John are brothers, and Peter and Andrew are brothers. I don't see no other brothers here. Simon, the Zealot. Judas, son of James. Judas Iscariot. The betrayer. So the song goes like this. Jesus calls them one by one. Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Next came Philip, Thomas too. Matthew and Bartholomew. Yes, Jesus called them. Yes, Jesus called them. Yes, Jesus called them. He called them one by one. James the one they call the less. Simon also Thaddeus. 12 apostle Judas made. Jesus was by him betrayed. And it goes on, yes, Jesus called them.
That was very nice of you.
There's another song that I like better. Um, it goes to the tune of Bringing in the Sheaves. And it goes like this. There were
Sing it.
12. Yeah, I can sing it right now. It goes like this. There were 12 disciples. Jesus called to help him. Simon, Peter, Andrew, James his brother John, Philip, Thomas, Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon, Judas, and Bartholomew. Jesus calls us too. Jesus calls us too. We are his disciples. Jesus calls us too. Jesus calls us too. Jesus calls us too. We are his disciples. Jesus calls us too.
Okay.
So that's two disciple song that you could remember to learn these disciples' names. Okay, so that brings us to the end of um RK. I hope you all have all this notes down. Be good. You all have it down already?
Yes, so I write in the last thing the betrayal.
The betrayal. Okay. Anyone else before I move it?
Kennedy say Mr. Batiste with the vocal.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Kennedy.
Most.
You know, if Nancy was here, she'd have tell you stop singing.
Boy. All right.
Good night.
All right. So have a wonderful night.
You too.
Let's take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes. Good night.